Hey y'all, Rob and Nicole here. It is currently April 6th, 2020. Today, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster finally went ahead and put a mandated stay-at-home order into effect for South Carolina. And so basically the only things that are open now are grocery stores, gas stations, banks that have drive-thrus, and then liquor stores and firearm stores are still open. Everything else is closed, and you are only supposed to leave your house for essentials. In South Carolina, if you have a family member that you are taking care of, you can go take care of them. If you are still employed, you can go to work. If you need groceries, you can go to the grocery store. But the idea is, and you can go outside to exercise. But all of our beaches and state parks and city parks and stuff are closed. But you can go for a run or a bike ride or whatever around your own neighborhood. Sorry, I don't think how that lighting's gonna work out. So that is what is happening finally. So today now all of our malls are closed, all of our retail stores are closed, bookstores are closed, movie theaters closed, finally, because people here haven't been taking it seriously. So hopefully the idea that you could possibly get fined for being out when you don't necessarily need to be will help encourage people to stay home and to help slow the spread of the coronavirus. If you guys saw my last video, you know that I've been getting kind of passionate about this. It is very serious. I work in healthcare, and every time that people go out unnecessarily and expose themselves and expose others, it adds to the tremendous shortages that we're already experiencing in our healthcare system. We have a limited number of ventilators, we have a limited number of N95s, a limited number of gloves, gowns, you name it. It's not this, endless supplies. It's you get what you get, and when it's out, it's out. And then what? And even when you have the equipment, you only have a certain few number of people that are actually trained to handle equipment like ventilators. You have a limited number of respiratory therapists. You have a number of limited nurses who have the skills and the specialties to help those really severe patients. And if those healthcare workers get sick, then that's just really putting even more people at risk. So it is really important for you guys to just stay home as much as possible, social distance, only go out when absolutely necessary, and please, please, please do not go out because you are bored. Don't go browsing around Walmart or Lowe's or Home Depot because you're bored. If you need something, write a grocery list, go out, get what's on your list, check out, get in your car, and go straight home. There's no reason for you to be out and about just because you're bored. It's not safe for you, and it's not safe for other people. So please, just do your part, stay home, spend time with your pets, spend time with your family. If you're like me and you live by yourself, maybe find a new hobby, find a new passion project. Just use common sense, use your best judgment, and just stay home as much as possible. If you are like me and you're a homeowner and you have a yard, you can go outside and spend time in your yard. If you have a balcony, you can go outside to spend time on your balcony. If you are in an apartment complex or a condo where maybe that isn't an option, sure, go for a walk, go for a ride, but stay in your neighborhood. Don't go wandering, super far off. Don't get in your car and drive somewhere to go biking around. Stay in your neighborhood. There's really no reason for you to go anywhere right now. Like I said, just use common sense and help us all out. Hey guys, it is Wednesday, April 8th, 2020. We are under a, bless you, Murray. We are under a stay-at-home order finally here in South Carolina. And I actually just got sent a letter to present to police if I get pulled over, saying that I am an essential employee. I, of course, went out and about to the only places I'm going to be going is to work and getting back home, so I will stay in my uniform while driving and always have my badge on me, of course, as well. If you guys don't know, I'm a first responder. I work in emergency medicine as an EMT for a private ambulance company. So yeah, that's how life is going. I am going to post a video about like what it's like to be on the front lines of a pandemic, so definitely stay tuned for that. I don't know actually if that'll go up before or after this video. Again, I'm on the front lines of this. I have been exposed to it, so right now I'm being told to continue working, but I'm, of course, just monitoring my temperature every day and really being aware of my body and what's going on with me. And if I start to show any symptoms, then of course I will immediately go out of work. I will try to get tested. It is still kind of hard to get tested at this time, but I will try to. I shouldn't have too much of a problem because I am a first responder and I have had known contact with people who have it. But yeah, that's how it's going. That's what's new. And I will check back in with you guys later when Murray is not so interruptive. As you guys know, it is Good Friday today, which, if you are not familiar with that term, it is used in Christianity to describe the day that Jesus Christ died on the cross to save us from our sins. 3 days later, on Easter, we believe that he rose again, and we believe that it's through his death and resurrection that we have new life and that we are forgiven of our sin, and we have the opportunity to go to God and repent of our sin and be accepted into his kingdom in heaven. And just like Good Friday, years ago when Jesus died, today, despite the term Good Friday, has not been a good day. So today, I was informed, even though I work in EMS, you would think that during a pandemic, emergency medicine would be a very secure and stable job, and it turns out it's not. And not just because of the health risk, but like so many other jobs right now, our company is cutting back hours and is even in the talks of possibly needing to furlough people. I know that sounds really weird because we're in a pandemic and I work in emergency medicine. You would think that we'd be more busy, and in a lot of areas of the country we are. I have coworkers right now who are up in New York helping with the relief efforts up there. I have some coworkers who are already in or are getting ready to deploy to New Jersey. But here in South Carolina right now, we are having kind of a different sort of issue still related to the COVID-19 pandemic, where normally when people get sick or injured, they come to the hospital, they come to the ER. And that generates revenue for us. Well, right now we have a problem where people are not wanting to come to the hospital. They are trying to kind of treat themselves at home. And unfortunately, as a result of that, our call volume has gone down and we're having to cut trucks. So I found out today that my hours are being cut So I am about to start looking for a second job just to be able to pay my bills. That's just the reality of the situation we're in right now. If you had told me this morning that was going to happen, I probably wouldn't have believed you. Yeah, all kind of experiencing now with COVID-19 is this kind of like collective trauma and this collective grief. Whether we want to acknowledge it that way or not, I really think that's what it is for a lot of people. And it's hard. It's hard. We are all going through really hard times right now, and yeah. You know, like in a very short matter of time, our lives have all changed significantly. You know, there's been a term that a lot of people, including myself, have been using a lot lately, and that's the term new normal, because nothing is normal right now. Nothing is the way it was a couple weeks ago. A lot of people, including a lot of my own family and friends, have been furloughed or laid off from their job, or their company has completely gone under. I mean, this is a lot worse than the 2008 recession was, and it feels like it's so much more widespread and like it's happening so much faster. And then you have this virus that is infecting people and is killing people, and yes, there is a very, very high survivability rate, but the problem is, and this is where the whole term flatten the curve comes in, is that our hospital systems are getting overwhelmed with these patients, and we're running out of resources, we're running out of ventilators, we're running out of personal protective equipment, and then the helpers are getting sick, and when all of a sudden the doctors and the nurses and, you know, the respiratory therapists are sick, then there's less people to treat the patients, and the burden gets bigger, and you have more patients than you have equipment for. And already we're seeing it in places like New York, where people are dying because not because of the, I don't even know how to put it, but like, people are dying of things that on a normal average day would be survivable. People are coming into the hospitals with strokes and heart attacks that normally they would survive, but they're not, because they're not getting patient care fast enough because the hospital systems are just so overwhelmed. So that's the case for places like New York. But again, down here in South Carolina, we do have a lot of COVID patients, but we're not to that point yet. And we're not having those people come in with heart attacks. We're not having those people come in with strokes. They are dying at home because they refuse to come to the hospital because they're so scared of getting COVID-19 that they don't realize that what they have is already killing them. Or, you know, like, people have stuff that's preventable. For example, this is not like a specific situation. This is something that I'm totally just making up. But, you know, you have someone who has a minor infection, let's say, in their arm. Maybe they got a cut, got infected. Normally not a big deal. You can't even get in to see a primary physician right now. A lot of doctors' offices are closed, which is just so bizarre. But a lot of them are. And all of a sudden, you can't get in to see your primary care physician to get a prescription for antibiotics. Okay, so telemedicine. You try to get on with telemedicine, can't get through because the system is so overloaded. You can wait for days to get through. And so you say, it's fine, I'll just put some Neosporin on it. Not a big deal. Let it be. few days later it's not getting better, you decide it's finally bad enough that you take yourself to the hospital, and it's gotten to the point where the only thing they can do for you is to amputate your arm. Those are the types of things we're seeing because people are not coming into the ER, they're not coming to the hospital when they need the help. Or, they're delaying care, or they can't see their primary physician, so they wait till it's too late by the time they come to the hospital. And that's not okay. I get it. I get that fear. I do. But there are protective measures that are taken so that people who come in for other things shouldn't get COVID-19 from the hospital. We wear protective gear when we go into COVID rooms. We take it off when we come out, or at least we should be. I know that in some places, due to PPE shortages, that may not be happening the way that it normally would happen when it's not a pandemic. Yeah, the whole situation is just insane. It's hard to process. It's hard to... It's hard. And I think that a lot of us, myself included, have been holding our feelings in so much and trying not to feel things, and you have to feel, but don't stay there, feel it and then pull yourself together and move forward. But it really is, it's this collective trauma that we're all experiencing. It's this traumatizing event, whether that's directly from you getting sick or a loved one getting sick, whether it's from COVID or something else, because there's the other thing, you can't have visitors in nursing homes, you can't have visitors in hospitals, and so, with COVID patients, they're dying alone because they can't have visitors because they're so highly contagious, but there's people who go in for other things. Maybe someone has had cancer and they've been fighting it for 3, 4, 5 years, and they're at their end. They've done the chemo, they've done the radiation, and for whatever reason, it wasn't enough for them, and it comes their time, and they don't get visitors. They're dying alone too, and it sucks. It sucks for the patients, it sucks for the family, it sucks for the healthcare providers. The whole situation is just awful for everyone. Or whether you are someone who has been furloughed or lost your job, or maybe just lost your sense of normalcy. I think we can all relate to that. And that's traumatic. And we go through a process of grief with any kind of loss, job loss, the same way as we do with the loss of a loved one. And there are different stages of grief, and there's no right or wrong way to grieve, and it's different for everyone. And you can go from acceptance to anger to sadness like that. And that's okay, that's healthy, that's normal. But just know that you're not alone. Reach out to people. I know that we are all trying to socially distance, but I think a better term for it really is physical distance. It's important for us to still be social. We are social beings. There has been a rise in the number of suicides lately because we are social beings and people aren't socializing. And that's part of our human nature, and it can feel very isolating to not socialize. I mean, I know I'm someone who lives by myself, so I definitely feel that isolation. But even if you live with other people, it can still be isolating to be confined in your home for the most part, except for maybe, going out for groceries. But to be confined in your home for long periods of time, only seeing the same few faces day after day, that's not normal. And that can cause a feeling of isolation. So I just wanted to tell you guys, like, if you are feeling isolated, if you are feeling anxious, if you are feeling depressed, if you are thinking about suicide, there are hotlines you can call. Please reach out. I will put links down below to hotlines. Also, if you are someone who has been quarantined in an abusive household, if there's domestic abuse, physical, verbal, emotional abuse going on in your household, please reach out. I will also leave some hotlines links down below for that, and if things get really bad, for whether it's domestic abuse or suicidal thoughts, or even just other mental health problems, call those hotlines. But if it's really bad, please call 911. You are loved by so many people, you are valued, and you will get through, but you have to reach out and ask for the resources. So please, if you are in that place, please reach out. And reach out to a friend. Like I said, this is physical distancing. It's not a true social isolation. We have so many ways to communicate with other people. We have cell phones, we have messaging apps, we have email, we have these Alexa devices in our home, these smart devices in our home. And if you are watching this right now, that means that you have some kind of internet access to be able to communicate with other people. So please reach out to your family, reach out to your friends, reach out to that person that you were best friends with 10 years ago that you think about and you just haven't called them. Call them. There's nothing to lose. Call them. But yeah, that's all I really have to say right now. Just take care of yourself, look out for yourself, look out for others, and just know that you are not alone. We are all collectively going through this trauma and this grief together, and it may manifest in different ways for different people, but that's okay. I know that there are some people right now who are taking this time to adapt a new hobby, get in good shape, cook at home, spend quality time with their family, pull out some board games, and there are some other people that are struggling to get out of bed, and that's okay. We all deal with stress different ways, but if you're one of those people who is laying in bed and is having a hard time, please reach out for help. Reach out to family, reach out to friends, reach out to professionals. And it's okay for you to be in that place, but don't stay in that place. Turn off the news, turn off your phone, turn some music on, try to sing, try to dance. Our energy can kind of stay in our body. I know that I get real tense in the shoulders when I'm under a lot of stress in my neck, and it just builds up and it builds up and it builds up, and you need a way to release that. And if you can just turn on some music and just dance, I promise you will feel better. I'm not saying you're going to feel great. I'm not saying it's going to solve your problems, but it's going to make you feel better. So please, just be kind with yourself, be gentle to yourself, be aware of what is going on, not just around you, but also inside of you. Take some time to journal, take some time to meditate, talk it out with someone else, but you know, just be aware of what is going on with you, and don't be afraid to reach out for help if you need it. And I just want you guys to know, like, wherever you are in the world, you are so loved. You are such a blessing to others, and the world would not be the same without you. I just want you to know that truly from my heart to your heart, whether I know you or not. I know that you are loved. I know that you are cared for, whether you feel that right now or not. And I promise you, things will get better. And I don't know when, I don't know how, but I believe that it's important for us to hold on to hope. And, you know, like I said, it's Good Friday. It was a hard day, you know, years ago when Jesus Christ, but we have that hope now, you know, knowing that Jesus Christ died on the cross. We have that hope now that 3 days later he was resurrected. He was raised from the dead, and our day of a fresh start, of a new beginning, it's coming. Just hold on to hope and know that it is coming. And I love you guys all so much, whether I know you personally or not. I hope that you guys have a wonderful Easter weekend. I'm going to wrap this up here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Share it with your friends and family. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. And then hit the bell to turn